SG Reads.
Hello fellow travelers, my name's SG and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be going over how I would write the Batman Beyond video game Rocksteady is currently developing. Over the course of the week, we did realize that Rocksteady is making another Batman Arkham game, and this one's most likely going to be a Batman Beyond game. And just like I've done with the other ones with my Paul Dini episode, and of course my latest one being the Elseworld episode, I wanted to really go into how it should be to see a Batman Beyond game overall. A little quicker and a little different of a pace than usual, but I wanted to get into it. And if you like this content, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. And let's get started, shall we? The sources we'll be using are, of course, the Batman Beyond animated series, the Arkham games, but we'll also be using a little bit of the Batman Beyond comic series that's come out recently, along with some of the Dark Knight Returns comics, the Frank Miller series. More of using elements from that and mixing it with the Batman Beyond formula will add a different layer to the whole story than we're always used to, and we'll add a little bit something new and to continuation of the Arkham series as a whole. So with that being said, let's get started. Going off the original Batman Arkham Knight game, we will start off right at the beginning of where it left off, saying that Batman has been presumed deceased at this point, but the legend still remained a short time after, and now most people don't even think of him as a real person, more of just an urban legend that people used to talk about. Because this has been 20 to 30 years later, it's even hard to even imagine Batman still being a thing. Now, what we do find is that Terry McGinnis is still the same story that we have in the animated series. I don't see a reason to change it, and even that he is a troubled kid with a background of a split family, and acts out having thought that maybe living with his dad would be a little bit better. Now, from there on, we can actually grow from the story and keep to the tune that we know, saying that he and his girlfriend Dana, along with their friends, went to a nightclub, got into a fight with the local gangsters of the area, the Jokers, and have started a high-speed chase all the way down to a desolate area, the area that was once known as Arkham Asylum in this storyline. That's right, we're going to change the Wayne Manor because it was destroyed to Arkham Asylum. After managing to take the Jokers off his back and lead them to Arkham, he is cornered by them and gets in the middle of a fight. This is where your tutorial will begin. A much needed kind of style as we see in the original Arkham City game. When you play as Bruce Wayne, you just have to fight them off barehanded. And this one you'll get an assistance from an old man Bruce Wayne himself. Now we will have the voice of Batman Arkham Origins playing in this route, or we could even take another route later on I will talk about. And from that point on, we move on with the average story. That once Terry McGinnis returns home, he finds that his parents are deceased. Well, just his father at this point. Because it looks like the Jokers have attacked his home, but it turns out it was Maxwell Power. Or at least there's schematics in Terry McGinnis' home that suggest that somebody else has done this and is just using the Jokers as an scapegoat. For now, we want to keep the idea that Powers is involved in this because we want it to remain a kind of a secret at this point. We do know the storyline, I think most of us do, but we want to keep an era of hint in there. You know what I mean? We want to keep this subtlety to it and let it evolve as it goes. That way we can know that Derek Powers, even though we know he's going to be the main antagonist, is still going to be the one trying to defend himself and is still being hunted unknowingly by Batman on both ends. From then on, we will go back to Arkham Asylum, where he confronts a aging Bruce Wayne in the Arkham Asylum mini Batcave, if any people remember that from the Arkham game. I do mean Asylum, of course, because there was one there, that has just grown over time and has become more of a rustic situation. And with that, Bruce Wayne agrees to help him discover what happened to his dad, who's behind all this, and mainly because Bruce Wayne sees the technology, sees how it's designed and made, and realizes that this is his own company's kind of style, his own tech, and decides that he wants to look into it as well. And from that point on, we go into our regular story, this being the end of our tutorial, and of course opening cinematics. The bat suit would definitely look as it does for Terry McGinnis in the cartoon, but you would have it look more metallic. Give it like a glossier tone, if you will. You see every once in a while you would see it have a shine or a reflection on it to kind of suggest that it's all metal in a way, while at the same time being very flexible. You would have all the appendages you have in the original anime series, from the batarang launchers to the rocket boots, but the rocket boots not being able to fly would act more as a double jet, if you will, like a double jump, if you will, to add to the kind of the grappling hook idea. Like it would add as a boost to that, like a triple boost, if you will, like we see in the regular games. Mainly because you don't want to add too much of this to it. You also have that he's able to hear inside buildings through windows using his fingertips, as same as in the cartoons, and a little bit more durability and upgradables as the game goes on. And of course, a hidden cape towards the end of the game. Now, when it comes to the Batman Beyond mythos, we can definitely have fun with all the villains or his rogues gallery being it, and that there are definitely some directions we can take on this, such as we can have Ink, who is definitely going to be a character in the first game, being more of a bodyguard to Derek Powers. That way she is always in his shadow or is always in the shadows around him. When we have Batman Beyond go to confront Derek Powers, he is automatically attacked by Ink through her inky-like body. We then have Shriek, I would believe, make an appearance as well, where he is trying to perfect the sound waves and sound frequencies for weaponry use for the military, and when confronted by Batman on this front, he is then attacked and trying to defend himself and or get rid of Batman for a bigger pay raise. When it comes to Spellbinder, which I do feel will be one of the first steps in all this, to finding out who is the one making these weapons, aka Derek Powers, it would have to go back to a psychiatrist who is trying to not just infect the minds of those that work for him, but of those he works for, such as those in need, those with mental distresses. He's twisting their minds to believe in his words and those words alone, which of course would be that of Derek Powers. Robert Vance I would definitely see coming back in, and he was from a kind of a mixed one called a Ghost in the Machine kind of style thing, where he is a AI programmer for Derek Powers, and has shown that if you fail him, he will destroy you, and is forced into the chair that will link him to the internet by Derek Powers, and his subconscious is then set into the internet. From that point on, we can have an AI kind of in a smarter use in this scenario of fighting against both Derek Powers and Batman, mainly because he feels he's been misused. We can also have an assassin constantly coming in and out, hired by someone may or may not be Derek Powers, known as Karar, who is definitely a good character to bring in, and showing that she loses this overall. Bane, I definitely could see making an appearance because he's made an appearance in every game since then, but at this one he would be a frail old man being tested on, such as we did see in the first Batman Arkham Asylum game. They have used his blood constantly to make the new Bane Venom virus, but in this one it's actually working pretty well, and we do see certain things happening to him, such as him being on his last leg and being an old man, and I don't really see him having a bounce back in this one, but with that we could have more Bane-like characters or just juiced up Bane enemies coming in and out. We also have a golem kind of boss fight where one of Derek Powers' underlings is working for him, creates a robotic body about 5 times the size of any normal person, and is using it to strike against Batman before it's lost in the Gotham River and found by what we would know later on as one of Terry McGinnis' classmates. So from that point on, that would pretty much be the rogues gallery I would use for the most part, but I think it's also willing to use more. I do see that we could probably use Two-Face, doing kind of what we did in the Batman Dark Knight Returns, where he has been fixed at Arkham Medical Hospital and is trying to recover, but feels that everybody is just making fun of him or using him for a good laugh, feeling that he has not returned. And I could really see that being the first mission we actually cover, considering that it would be a good start-off point, something new coming from something old, and it would close off Two-Face's storyline overall. When it comes to returning allies, there are definitely a few that we could name, and there aren't quite a few that we see from the original series coming in the Batman the Animated Series, so some of these would have to be reaching, while some would actually have to make sense. So we definitely would see Barbara Gordon being more of a team player in this scenario than she is in the animated series, mainly because of the way the original game series left off. She would definitely be willing to participate in it, and definitely willing to be more of a active player in it, becoming Oracle in a much older sense, if you will. Not really into Bruce Wayne's level, but in more her level. We then have Tim Drake, who has retired at this point, not really wanting to be part of it, but I could definitely see him kind of taking up the mantle where Bruce Wayne left off. And by that, I don't mean he's fighting crime, I say he's trying to clean up Gotham for the better at this point in his life. Since we know that he married Barbara Gordon, I would definitely say that maybe at this point he's trying to run for mayor of Gotham as a whole, seeing if he can take it to a more political route. So that would definitely be an interesting take in this scenario. As for Dick Grayson, we can see that he may have become governor of Bloodhaven. Since he's left Gotham, he's really made it out for himself. He's become a millionaire, such as in the canon storyline, but now he wants to give back. Also, something he takes from Bruce Wayne as well. And much like Dick Grayson has taken from Tim Drake, from wanting to be not just Robin, he also wants to be a governor in this nation, or maybe even just DA, seeing that they have all grown in their own ways and still have a need to help the public or help the people in their own way as well. This would definitely fit more of the idea that they've put down the ideas of being heroes and have grown into trying to still be heroes in their own rights. But when they hear that there's a new Batman in town, they all begin to start looking for Bruce Wayne. And you can even have it that they're trying to talk to this Terry McGinnis Batman, trying to figure out what's going on, knowing that he's too small to be Bruce Wayne and too young. So that would definitely be a good in and out kind of storyline to see how that would be playing out. And ultimately, we may see a character named Carrie, who is getting inspired by Terry McGinnis' Batman to become the next Robin. And some of you who know that would know that was the Dark Knight Returns Robin as well, from the Frank Miller series. Seeing that she may get the suit at the very end of the series, but not an official one, more of just a homemade one, and then we'll see more in later games if I have to say so. But I think that would definitely be a good start off point for allies to come in, new ones to be introduced, and definitely certain characters to be popping back and forth. So overall, the main story would be that this is a retelling of Terry McGinnis' origin story, but to a longer extent, allowing some mystery and some questions to come out, with Ultimate Blight being the main or final boss, if you will, while at the same time re-establishing the Batman mythos and pretty much where everyone has been at this point. We would see the war between the mutants and the Jokers ramping up, with the Jokers become more of a threat overall and beating the mutants too. We could even have the head mutant be a side mission, if you will. That way when you beat them, you can see the Jokers actually starting to rise in power. And we would see BB and Dee Dee come in as the true daughters of, or granddaughters of Harley Quinn at this point, which would be interesting and fun in itself. But for right now, the main focus would have to be on the Terry McGinnis, Derek Powers kind of struggle. So that's where I would see the storyline going and being, and then ultimately ending where it ends, with Terry McGinnis accepting the role as the new Batman and the mission starting over again, with the approval of Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and Barbara Gordon making an appearance as well. And we could see the rise of the Royal Flush Gang along with a new Joker coming out later on down the line. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below if you did. Tell me what you think of this idea. Leave it down. I would like to hear what everybody likes to say down in the comment section. If you like this content, like I said before, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And let me know if there's another game or another thing you would like me to take a look at. See if I can come up with something interesting for that as well. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. See you guys next time.